What is going on, everybody? Hope you guys are all doing well. And what you're looking at is the Gigabyte Aero 15. Now, we reviewed the Aero 15 a couple of times, most recently the X9 version just a few months back, and I'm a big fan of this compact overall form factor, and they generally come with pretty powerful internal components. Now, this latest version actually has probably one of the best displays that I've encountered on any notebook PC, and it's using a Samsung organic LED panel that has a native resolution of 3840 by 2160, and it's also factory calibrated to meet the X-Rite Pantone certification. So it's perfect for any content creator like myself or anybody that needs an awesome display on their notebook PC. Now, this Aero 15 also is using the 9th generation Intel chips, both Core i7 and 9. We specifically have the 9750H processor. That's a 6-core chip with 12 threads that can turbo up to 4.5 gigahertz. We also have a discrete NVIDIA GPU, the RTX 2070 with Max-Q design, as well as the built-in Intel UHD 630 graphics. And this is also coupled with NVIDIA's Optimus switching technology, so you can optimize for battery performance and efficiency, as well as performance if you're going to do any kind of high-end video editing or gaming with the discrete RTX 2070. Inside the notebook, you'll find some decent options for expandability, both for DDR4 memory. You have 2 slots available, as well as 2 slots for M.2 NVMe PCI Express drives. Now, certainly one of the biggest perks for this particular design is the fact that it is 20 millimeters in terms of thickness, but you have plenty of connectivity options, unlike the new generation MacBook Pros and Airs. We have 3 USB 3 Type A connections, as well as a Thunderbolt Type C connections. We have a full-size HDMI, as well as a DisplayPort, a 1.4, a headphone jack, as well as a multi-card SD card reader, and an RJ45 killer Ethernet adapter. You also have an AX1650 killer Wi-Fi powered by Intel, so that should give you a decent amount of bandwidth for wireless networking connectivity. We also have a privacy door on the webcam located at the bottom, and you can see that the actual display and the bezels on the display are really thin as a result of that. Now, certainly the biggest selling feature on this thing has to be the Samsung AMOLED panel, and if you're watching films or consuming any kind of media, especially in darkly lit environments, you're going to definitely notice a huge difference compared to most conventional laptops with LED backlit displays. The black levels are pretty much infinite, and the contrast levels and just the color vibrancy and everything pop out a lot more than any display I've encountered on the past, especially on a notebook. So this is probably one of the best viewing experience I've encountered on a laptop thus far. Now, for content creators or people that do a lot of media creation like myself, this laptop is really ideal since we have a 3840 by 2160 display. And one thing I've noticed is that Windows these days has made significant improvements in terms of their scaling technology for both native applications and third-party applications. So for somebody like myself that does a lot of video editing on the go, I can really scale down the resolution to get more screen real estate. But if you want to do just the opposite and scale up the elements in the operating system, so if you want a greater level of visual acuity for sharpness of text and images, that's a great option. A good recommendation for this particular screen size is around 250%. And if you want, again, more screen real estate like myself, you can scale that back down to more one-to-one resolution and have really small looking elements, but basically a lot more screen real estate. Now, when you couple the sharpness of the display with the fact that it's super bright, very dynamic in terms of its black level, and the color accuracy is good enough for most creators out there like myself, especially who publish on YouTube and don't need to be tremendously accurate. This is definitely a display that stands out from all of the other standard LCD/LED backlit laptop displays that I've encountered in the past. Now, a laptop with an OLED display definitely comes with a premium cost, anywhere between $400 to $500 extra compared to a standard LCD display. And if you're not too concerned about the 60 hertz refresh rate. I think it's a fantastic experience, especially for content creators and general content consumption. Now, we actually had a very similarly spec'd Aero 15 X9 laptop just a few months back, which was using the 8750H processor. We have the 9750H processor in here. You're going to notice marginal performance difference, not a huge amount. If you take a look at Cinebench R15, we're getting around 11,000 points versus about 1093 was the best that we could score on the previous generation. Not a big difference there. Geekbench is resulting slightly faster performance both in single core and multi-core instances, and in terms of the graphics performance, pretty much identical Time Spy and 3D Mark benchmark results since they're using the exact same discrete GPU. Now, in terms of battery performance, even though the Gigabyte claims that you can get up to 8 hours of video playback, but keep in mind that's 20% screen brightness, pretty much in airplane mode, and you're not doing anything else but watching a video. If you are going to be taxing the CPU and GPU to an extent that you would probably use this thing from a functional creative standpoint, don't expect anything beyond really the 3-hour mark based on our experience. And obviously, if you're just surfing the web and things like that, you might get a few hours more. The battery capacity is about a 94.2 watt hour. It has a lithium polymer battery inside, and another downside is even though this is a fairly compact laptop, you are going to be still dealing with a large 230 watt power brick. So when you are taking a look at the portability aspect of this thing, and due to the fact that it doesn't have a great battery life, you're going to be pretty much married to this large power brick in order to get the most out of this thing. Now, furthermore, the OLED panel is rated at 60 hertz in terms of its maximum refresh rate, so that's why it's geared for more content creators and not so much for gaming. If you want 240 hertz, you're going to have to opt for a different laptop. Gigabyte makes actually a few versions of the Aero 15, which has full HD displays with 240 hertz. That costs anywhere between $500 to $600 less than this thing, and this is about a $3,000 machine over here, so you do have to keep in mind that it's definitely going to cost you a pretty penny, but that's just the luxury of getting an OLED panel with premium internal components in this compact form factor, and it's a general fair price compared to what you're going to find with other premium brands, including Apple, which are generally going to cost you actually a lot more than $3,000 to get this kind of internal specification and performance, and don't offer the near level of performance from a display standpoint as what we get with this OLED panel from Gigabyte. But really, other than that, guys, that's really it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Make sure you have the bell notification turned on so you can get our videos once they become available. We're going to have a lot more frequent videos coming out in the near future. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you later. Take care.